Hey everybody, how's it going? The countdown reached zero and we are here. This is our very first time to do the live stream without involving Zoom. So welcome everybody to the April 7th meeting of the Flipping America RIA. I am Roger Blankenship, your host, and we'll see how things go today. We've been practicing all morning and it just decided a minute ago to start giving me the spinning beach ball of death here. So that creates panic in the studio, but that's great. I'm glad to see you. I'm glad you're here. And look, normally for the last year, we've been doing these meetings on Zoom. So normally I can look right down and I can see everybody that's here. And but now I'm kind of flying blind. It's going to take me a little bit to get used to it. So I don't know whether you're watching or not. I don't know who's here. I don't know how many are watching. So, but I do have the comments open. So please say hello. Say hello to me in the comments on Facebook or YouTube, wherever you're watching. Just put it in the comment and it should, if everything's working right, I should see it right here. In some ways, I really wish that we were just hanging out at Baranda, eating some good Italian food and talking. But I also know that because we started doing this a year ago, the pandemic forced us into it. We now have a little thing here that has 30 chapters nationwide and 10,000. We just went over 10,300 this morning. And so I am thrilled that, well, I'm not thrilled about the pandemic, but I'm thrilled that for what has happened and for all the people around the country that are tuning in and watching. And I hope, I was thinking this morning, one time when I was in graduate school, I lived some distance away from the school and I wanted to throw a party, just a little bit of a party for my friends, but none of them lived anywhere near me. In fact, most of them lived 40 or 50 miles because I lived on the south side of Atlanta and everybody in my class lived on the north side of Atlanta. And so I threw a party and no one came. Hi, Mike. Thanks for speaking up, man. Anyway, so I'm glad at least Mike is here. I don't know who else is here, but I also remember the first time I did the meeting at Baranda. Before we had 50 at that meeting, we had 2. We had 3. It doesn't matter to me. I'm glad you're here. My ego is not really attached to this. Jake is over there, and he's helping me recreate or create our YouTube channel. And so we've got a lot of interesting things that are going to be happening on this channel over the next few months, and a lot of content that's already prepared for you. All right, but right now, it's time for us to say the Flipping America pledge. Here it comes, everybody. Put your hand on your heart and when I look in the mirror, I see the reason, the credit for my successes, the blame for my failures. I cannot make it without my team, and I tell them often. But when they succeed, it's because I chose well and I led well. When they fail, it's because I did not choose or lead well. I am the reason. I may have setbacks, but I cannot fail if I don't ever give up. You got circumstances. I got circumstances. We all got circumstances, but you won't find me under mine. My situation will not dictate my emotion. My circumstances will not control my results. External forces will not take away my power to choose. I cannot change the world, but I can change me and the way I relate to it. So I charge on. I am the reason. I have a massive vision, which creates massive pressure, leading to massive action, which is the only chance I have to achieve massive results. The world doesn't owe me success. God doesn't owe me success. No one is going to work for my success. Therefore, no one will work harder for their success than I will for mine. I will give my all and then a bit more. So tomorrow, my all will be more. All right, we are back, and I am joined with with Chip Cagle. Chip, good to see you, man. How you doing?
Hey, Roger. Doing
Yeah.
good. So since we don't quite know how this new format's going to work out, I'm going to go through the terms a little bit, just quickly, and
All right.
then I'll jump over onto those other calls and put the terms into the
Okay.
chats.
Yeah, that's
But
great.
comments into the
And
call.
I should
Right.
say this, Bay Mountain Capital has been a big part of the success of Flipping America RIA, and I'm delighted that they are one of the sponsors of this program. And Chip here is the Southeastern Regional Director for Bay Mountain Capital. And now I've given you the proper introduction. Fire away, man. Tell us what's going on with Bay Mountain.
All right. So Bay Mountain Capital is a hard money lender located in Dallas, Texas, but I'm in Atlanta. And as Roger said, I'm the Southeast coordinator. Right now we're in Georgia and Tennessee. And in the comments, I'll put the specific cities that we're working in those states. Soon we're going to be in Alabama. And then by the end of the summer, we'll start Florida. All right. So Bay Mountain Capital, hard money. We've got the fix and flip loan, rental loans for 3 or 5 years, which there are some good reasons for those I can go through some other time. And then we have new construction loans. On the fix and flip side, for experienced investors, we can lend up to 100% for purchase and rehab, up to 70% of the after repair value. And then we also work with new investors and ones that are in between. They won't be 100%, but they'll be good terms anyway.
All right. So the things that I really like that Bay Mountain does, probably my favorite thing is you guys do a feasibility study on every property, basically to keep
Right.
the investor from hurting themselves. I like that.
Correct. Yeah, it protects both of us.
Right.
So feasibility studies, similar to a home inspection, they go in and make sure that your rehab budget has everything on it that it should. If there's something that needs to be done in the house that's not on your rehab budget, they would have you put it on there. They also check to make sure that the value, the costs that you have on there are close enough.
Yeah, Robert Massey wants to know what's your average percentage rate. Good question, Robert.
Percentage, interest rate?
Yeah.
Starts at 9.9% for an experienced investor and goes up to 11.9% for a new investor.
All right. Okay. Well, anybody else have any more questions for Chip while we got him? This is kind of cool. I see these comments popping in here. Thanks, everybody. All right. And be sure also in the comments, you tell us where you're from, what you're looking for. One of the things that I like to do in my meetings always when we're doing them live is I want to hear from everybody. How can I help you grow your business? That's why we started this whole thing. We are starting to figure out how to monetize it a little bit, but really money has never been, or profit has never been the motive behind the Flipping America RIA and all these meetings. We don't really make very much money at all. We don't make enough to pay for what we're spending on it. But I don't care. We want to help you grow your business. My goal is to help 1,000 people become real estate millionaires. And I want to do that before I quit.
Great.
And that's why we spend this time. And I know that Chip has it in his heart to help people too. We all make a little bit of money while we're helping each other. And so let's help each other. Put your comments in the comment section where whatever platform you're watching on. And Chip, thanks, man. We'll be in touch. Vicky, we're coming to you in just a minute. But first of all, we've got to look at, I've got the announcements are coming up next. All right. So what's happening here with the Flipping America RIA? First of all, this is what's happening today. Vicky's coming in just a moment, and we're going to talk about wraps. And, my favorite, I think, is the chicken bacon avocado wrap, or the chicken bacon ranch wrap, with avocado. But that's not the kind of wrap we're talking about today. My other favorite wrap is the kind of wrap that Vicky's going to talk about, and that's a real estate deal. If you have an Alexa-enabled device, one of these Echo Dots or whatever, just say, Alexa, play the podcast, Flipping America, and my latest show will play. We air the show 3 times a week. Here's your resource pages. If you want to do screenshots right now, this is a good time to do it, because I continue to work to put together the resources for you to try to connect you with the best people, the best business, and best opportunities that I can find. And you see at the bottom here, we've got gap and unsecured funding. And we've got another funding source that came online this week, and I'll have something in it maybe as early as tomorrow night. But definitely by next week, we'll have it, another funding source for you. ways to analyze deals, self-directed IRA. We're going to have Sean McKay from American IRA on in a week or so, and the way to invest. The title of the show is going to be "How to Make Millions of Dollars in Real Estate and Not Pay Taxes." And I know that's kind of like the old Steve Martin skit, but the difference is this will be legal. Okay. If you need insurance for your project, there's an insurance thing. And if you want to get deals from the MLS, bit.ly/get privy program. All of these have been checked out and are currently used by me. Okay. Except I don't do hard money loans, but if I did, I would go to Bay Mountain Capital. This is coming up next Wednesday at 12:30 right here live on Facebook and YouTube. Monica Sawyer, my good friend, she has the Blissful Investing podcast for women, and she helps women develop their real estate investing careers. And she has become a dear friend over the past year and a half as we've been talking. We've been on each other's shows. And I was talking to her a couple of days ago in advance of this meeting. And I said, so Monica, what do you want to talk about? She said, you know what I really want to talk about? My favorite new form of investing is the Bohr houses. And the Bohr houses is something that I created here at Flipping America. And we have the Flipping America Buyers Club. And I'm not going to say a whole lot about that today, but Monica is one of the charter members of the Buyers Club, and she loves it. That's what she wants to talk about. So we're going to talk about blissful cash flow, how easy it is to make money investing in inexpensive houses around the country. You know, this is the brand Flipping America. It's becoming so many things. It is a coast-to-coast broadcast. That's how we started the whole thing. Broadcast on AM/FM stations 3 times a week, Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So we're producing these shows constantly. We turned that into a podcast, and then that led to the formation of this group, the Flipping America RIA, and we do 2 live meetings a week. Wednesdays, a bit more focus on content and presentation of material. The Flipping America Academy is just freshly launched. It's really in a soft launch mode. We're still adding courses to it, courses that I teach and courses that other investors teach. And sometime in the next, 3 to 6 months. Those cigars didn't make this. The only cure for a cigar as bad as that one that I have is to go to my 3rd backup humidor. I've got a couple other backup humidors too. So here we go. Here's the humidor. Got my water pillow in here trying to get some humidity here. And I'm going to hand one here to Jake because I'm going to let him try it here in a second. This is a no-name brand. And, it looks okay. It seems fine. You take it out. You give it a smell. And so maybe, 6 months in the humidor, I've done it some good. Get a little organized here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get my cutter out here. We're going to get this thing rolling. Going back to the V notch. Okay. All right. The best deal they can. Are they being greedy? Sometimes. Are they asking too much of a fee? Sometimes. But guess what? They wouldn't do that if you would never buy it. If you would just hold to your guns, use common sense, and buy the right thing, then they wouldn't be able to sell. Did I leave that in the camera frame? Sorry about that. So here's the thing. They wouldn't keep sending these deals out if you wouldn't keep buying them. P.T. Barnum said there's a sucker born every minute. And that doesn't mean the curious people who might pay to go to their circus and see the bearded lady and watch the elephants dance. That means some of you who have paid $50,000 to go to some hotel room guru's real estate training course, and you feel like you got to justify that course by buying anything that comes along. Just say no. Don't do it. Hold your fire. Let's use the power of the market to force the wholesalers to give us a better deal. How about that? In the meantime, find something better to smoke, find something better to drink, and I'll be finding better deals. That's it for today. All right, we are here finally. Vicky, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. That was classic. I love it. There
All
are
right.
the deals.
Well, so the story behind the property pairing videos is my insurance guy was asking me or suggesting to me that I figure out a way to get cigars into my show. And we kicked it around for a little while. And I thought of that movie City Slickers, where Ben and Jerry, the ice cream guys, are there. They're sitting around the campfire, and Jerry's special talent is he can pair any food with ice cream. And so somebody says, "What about pork and beans?" And he says, "Oh yeah, rum raisin." And his partner goes, "Oh, that's perfect. Of course, it's ideal. Yes, what a gift." And Billy Crystal goes, "How do you know that's even right?" And so I said, "All right, that's what we can do." I can.
That vanishes pretty much, and I'm very limited on funds. Bottom line, I start living in the back of my car because of all the issues, and I'm running out of money. So really, I was in a pity me party till I realized, I call it the rock bottom night. A fight broke out outside. I looked out. I was already sleeping in the back of the car. I look up. Next thing I hear is gunshot. So it was like a reality check, and then that's when like my whole life flashed before me, and I realized I'm in a pity me party, and I'm not getting out of this back of this. I changed my mindset. I started building it back in December of 2004. First investment, $78 to my name. I didn't hear that. I was thinking, I was creative and thought outside the box to be able to get this deal. I learned how to fix it. 3 months later, because I didn't know how to fix things. 3 months later, I am now, I fixed it. I learned from YouTube and Pinterest. I put a sign outside. I started renting it, and now I'm profiting $650.
All right.
If you guys could have seen my happy dance, I was ecstatic because going from nothing, I was stuff on eBay, eat, make the, and that's not a lot of mega property, duplicate what, and that's it. And now I have. What happened? Am I here?
Well, we're getting a lot of cutouts and lags from you, Vicky. So we got most of that.
Okay.
Can you hear me all right now?
Bottom line, yeah, I can hear you. I started with $478, and first house I made $650 profit, and I just duplicated that first house. Now I have over 100. So you have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
With the right mindset.
Yeah, we're getting some comments from our listeners saying the sound is cutting out. I do understand that it's cutting out here too. So I don't know, Vicky. I don't know if you can go out there and supercharge your internet connection right now, but we'll just do the best we can.
Hold on 1 second. Let me try something.
All right.
I'm going to take you on a tour. Ever since the storm we've had, I think there might be some towers down or something. So sometimes I have to just go outside and talk outside. So we're going on a tour.
So your internet's better outside?
Yeah, don't ask me why. Maybe I'm stealing somebody's.
Yeah. Well, it could be that your Wi-Fi signal is weak in that room.
Well, it's
all
okay. Right. How is this?
Well, we're just going to talk a minute and see. But thanks, everybody. Hi, Ty. Thanks, everybody, for your comments, and keep letting us know if it's getting better now. All right. So, Vicky, what do you see?
All right. Can you hear me now?
I hear you. Yeah. What do you see happening in the real estate market? Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay. All right. 2021 real estate market. The pandemic is coming to an end. The ban on foreclosures is coming to an end, and things are about to happen. The ban on evictions and all of it is going to change the market. Now, I'm not a doomsday kind of prophet. I'm not thinking that the real estate market is going to fall apart, but it's definitely going to change in the next few months. And so when we were talking about this show today, you said, let's talk about wraps because people are going to need to know how to do them in the next few months. So I love wraps, but I also love real estate wraps. And Why don't we start by tell me what you're seeing in the market right now and what you think we need to be thinking about in the coming months.
Well, here's the thing is, and I'm a big, I have different baskets in real estate that I like to invest. One of my big baskets is rentals. Another one is reps, right? Well, what happened to the rental market right now? Nothing that we ever foresaw happening, but there's tons of people out there that are getting help, government help, but they're not paying their rent. So in the meantime, there's mortgages to be paid, right? And let's be honest, why is there all these bugs? I don't know where they come from. But in the meantime, now when the evictions, because now they just extended it again till June. It's been over a year that some of these people have not paid. So a lot of these landlords are not paying, aren't able to pay. Yes, they got a modification. Not going to tenant, or if they move to another place and start fresh. So these landlords have to be very creative by getting their help if they haven't gotten any kind of help in their city. Now, what's going to happen? Yes, some banks will do modification and maybe put the payment. Some of them, if you have a couple houses, you're going to, right? There's going to be that's what I believe in. The market, I'm not going to say it's a crash. When I think about a crash, I think about 2008. That was an explosive crash. But I think the market is going to go down. So with that being said, there's going to be so many deals out there that people are behind on their payments. And to me, what can happen? If the value's down, you can go and do a short sale. But when it goes into short sale, you are competing with hundreds of investors. If you get ahead of the game and you get the sellers, the people that are behind now, and be creative, think outside the box. There's many different things you can do with a seller that's behind, but one of them would be to do a wrap. And what is a wrap? They currently have a mortgage on it. So they're paying that mortgage. You can turn around and sell it for a higher amount, and you make the difference and you wrap both loans together. So the buyer pays you X amount of dollars. Out of that money, you turn around and you pay the first mortgage and you keep the difference. This is what's going to happen is if you know wraps, you're going to be able to go and work these deals out directly with the sellers, and you're not going to compete. You're not competing with all these other investors. When you hit short sale, realtors will put it so low that everybody will put in offers. And then it takes months for you to even know if you got it. But all that time you could be making money and you're not competing against no one. I had one deal, this guy pretty much begged me to do it. It did not work for a flip, but nobody was really a lot of people didn't want to do rentals right now. So they couldn't figure out the whole wrap. They didn't know about the wraps. This guy begged me pretty much to take his property, and I'm going to end up making $235,000 just because I knew the wrap. And I feel guilty about it. I could have actually made more because 7 investors had gone to him, and none of them wanted it. They did not. So always different strategies, and I think wraps is. You need to know it. You need to know it. And I just call it the lotto because in your own, you don't have to do, you're just sitting back collecting.
Hey, Vicky, we had a question for Mike. He says, what about the money the seller is behind with the bank?
You pay that. So most of the times the banks have been doing modifications and they'll put the last payment, the payments that they missed. But what are they behind? 5,000-10,000. If you go buy this property traditional way, you're gonna have to go get a loan, right? How much is your closing cost? How much is the lender gonna charge you in points? That's probably the same money that it's gonna take to cash. If you're lucky, the bank will just put that money towards the end, or maybe a couple payments or work out some kind of a payment plan. But it's just
Yeah.
really, this is where you becoming thinking outside the box and being creative, because right now it's all fair games. I mean, banks are listening to, being creative. Hey, I can do XYZ, but whatever you promise you're going to do, just make sure you do it, right? So being creative is the key now, knowing a lot of the different exit strategies. And the best way I can tell you about being creative is, has anybody ever struggled and you have kids and then your kids goes and joins the sport? What happens? You have to go buy equipment. You have to go buy uniforms. You have picture days and you're living a paycheck to paycheck. You don't do your activity. What? You think outside the box for your kid to make sure that they don't go out without the equipment. They don't miss that field trip. They don't go out there without a uh,
All right, Vicky, we're losing you.
are you hearing me?
Yeah, we're losing you a little bit. It's kind of coming and going.
I don't know why.
Well,
yeah,
it's an internet
let me
connection
try
thing.
one more thing.
All right.
Yeah, let me try one.
I tell you what, take a minute and reset and maybe go out and come back again. And I need to play a word from one of our sponsors anyway, American IRA. And we'll come back to you, Vicky, in just a minute.
To the strongest.
When you choose American IRA as your self-directed IRA administrator versus the other guys, you're choosing a path that will save you money without sacrificing expertise or performance. Because unlike the other guys, we do not work on a sliding scale of fees. We offer one low set annual administration fee. Let's take a closer look. As your assets grow with American IRA, your annual fee remains the same. The other guys base their fees on the number of assets you own or the value of your account. So over the life of your self-directed IRA, your annual fees will continue to increase year after year. What does this mean for you? When you work with us, you'll have more money to put towards the important things in your life, like retirement. We know that there are already enough places your money has to go, from your state and local government to the IRS. Don't let your self-directed IRA administrator take more from you than they should. So with American IRA, no matter how your assets grow over the life of your investment, you'll pay one low set annual fee, putting you in total control of your financial future. Choosing American IRA means you're choosing expertise, value, and performance.
All right. It's American IRA, and we'll have them in the next week or so. All right. You've got a different connection now. Let's see how this works. Oh, now we're not hearing you at all. You need to unmute yourself. Interview. Yep, you're not muted over here. And now you're frozen. Okay, now I see you. Can't hear you still. All right. So, oh boy. You know, it's our first shot, right? And technical difficulties, probably can't really control them. Let's see, she's coming back. Let me see if we can bring her in. All right, how about now?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. I have tried every room in the house and the strongest. So we'll see if this works.
All right. All right. So let's kind of recap here. Well, we have a question from Renee. Can you repeat the sequence from finding a seller who has a mortgage through finding a bank who will give a second mortgage and paying off that first mortgage?
So finding the seller is really, really simple. What's going to happen now is when I mean, number one, go to the courthouse, because the eviction process is still happening. You just cannot remove them. So just hanging out the courthouse, you're going to find tons of landlords that are just beyond irritated because they're winning cases. I won cases in November that the people are still in there. So, you know, I haven't even gotten a judgment for this since November. So that I have to go back to court for the remainder, right? So courthouse is going to be huge to find these properties. Another one, and I know what you guys are thinking, there's a lot of scam, which there is. I use Craigslist a lot. I'm not going to say I'm old, but people my age, when I need something, my first two goes automatically comes to my head is Craigslist. Then I'm like, oh, wait, I should try social media. So social media, Craigslist, mailers, you can get by the list of people that are delinquent 30 days, right? I mean, 90 days. Right now, I bet there's not a whole lot of banks putting delinquencies, especially when they buyer or the owner has gotten an paper loan. But after all this ends, you're going to start seeing so many notice of defaults being filed. Now, this is something I actually stole from Roger. He doesn't know this. I am not one of those people that, will go to your house and say, ha, I know you're delinquent. I'll buy your house. I have to be sympathetic. So this is what I'll quote Roger. You go to their house and you let them know that, hey, you're interested in buying something in this area. You're not even mentioning anything that you know that they're behind, right?
Yep.
Women, we stress. We don't want to be put up on the street. Men are more gutsier. They'll go to the last minute. But women, we want to be out. We don't want to have the sheriffs come to our house to put our stuff out. So even though we still have time through the foreclosure process, we are stressing every day. So if we get somebody that tells us they want to buy our house, who's going to make the actual decision? More than likely the woman. Because if the woman's not happy, you men are definitely not going to be happy. So by them saying that, you're not telling them, hey, by the way, I know you're in foreclosure. That's going to be a huge thing. Buy the notice of defaults and start going to properties. Put bandit signs. There's so many ways to get these people. You're going to be bombarded. There's even these services that you can hire, and they'll even take the initial calls, even if you do mailers, because you will get so many calls. You need to have somebody to kind of like screen them and see and just get to the really, really good deals.
Yeah. How many real estate investors do you think there are there in Jackson, Mississippi?
More and more keep coming constantly versus when I was here. I mean, think about it. When I was here, you were able to buy, basic cosmetic houses for 15, 20,000. Now we're looking at 60 to 80,000. So I can't give you how many new are coming in, but the core investors, there's probably about 30 core investors that are very highly active. But then all the time.
Well, I think that there's probably something like
that's not something.
We're losing you again. It seems like wherever you go, it works for about 4 or 5 minutes, and then it doesn't work. All right, let's do this. Let's save us and our listeners a little bit of aggravation and skip to the workshop. I know you got a workshop that you do on this topic. Tell us a little bit about that.
So everything I do is hands-on. Have you guys ever gone to a workshop or any event that they give you a whole bunch of great information and you're like, yeah, I can do this, and you go home and you don't know where to start. You feel like you need all this stuff before you even make the first call. That's where we're different at the workshops. You are making the calls at the workshop. You're setting up the wraps. We're going to role play. Hey, if you have this house, what would you offer me? What would you offer me? What would you offer me? That's real life. A seller gets different offers, and you will be able to see what one person will offer versus what you offer, and then you'll be able to see who got the deal, because that's real life. One of the things that I get every single time I do these workshops, and I hate this word, but people realize that they're greedy. They try to lowball the seller way too much, and then they try to charge the buyer way too much. So they don't get the deal, or the buyer doesn't buy the deal. Versus the people that want steady business and referrals, they get the deal and buyers buy the deal. So it's really a mindset. You're looking for long term. You're not looking for the one deal to happen. So if you're trying to get your whole year's worth in one deal, it's not going to happen. Think about people repeatedly buying your deals. I mean, I have a waiting list. If I say I have an owner finance deal, it'll be gone tomorrow.
All right.
That's what you do. You're doing it live. And then that way, the idea is for when you go home, you're excited, you've done it. Now you just have to duplicate what you did. It's not that you feel overwhelmed.
When is your next workshop coming up? I've got a little thing scrolling across the screen telling people where to go sign up. I don't know if you can see that.
I don't have the exact date. I think it's June something coming up.
All right. So just in time.
I took on the date.
Just in time. If you guys will go to bit.ly/Vicky's Wraps. It's scrolling across the screen. That's good. I'm sorry about the technical things, and I wish we could get a little bit deeper into this, but we're really out of time. Everybody's got to go back to work, those that have a job, and some of us have to go visit the Green family. You know what that,
I do have something to say. You guys that are out there listening, Roger is a genius. The little time that I have spent with him, and it's amazing. He really thinks outside the box. I'm not even going to bring your spreadsheet, but he's got things that nobody else has. So you want to associate yourself with like-minded people that are going to help you grow. Not people that say they want to help you grow, but deep down, they're envy of you. Your inner circle has to be the Roger likes. That's what you want in your inner circle. So if you want to succeed, make sure you're surrounding yourself around the right people.
All right. Thank you for that, Vicky. Okay. We appreciate you. And, we're going to be in touch. And
definitely.
Yeah,
Thank you. And sorry for internet.
Yeah, we'll talk again between now and when your workshop happens. Okay. All right.
Sounds good. Thank you for having me.
That's Vicky Schettini, everybody. We appreciate you being here. Tomorrow night at 7:30, I've got the best-selling author, Mark Dolfini. He's written a book called The Time Wealthy Investor. And he invented something that he calls the VIP method. And I listened to him talk about this a couple years ago, and I thought this is one of the best things I've ever heard on the subject of, really, the V stands for vision. I'm not going to give away the secrets of the rest of it. But if you grasp this VIP process, it makes such a profound difference in the way you organize your life and the way you say yes or no to certain opportunities. That's tomorrow night at 7:30. And again, we're going to be live streaming. And we're going to keep working on this. We'll get the technology thing solved. I'm not sure how I can solve an internet speed issue on the other side. I'm not sure that's even the problem. But, just hang with us and come back tomorrow night. And we're going to visit with Mark Dolfini. And he's actually going to go a little bit into the process of the VIP method. All right. That's tomorrow night. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you again very soon.